Hi, everybody. This is DJ Fastnex Reviews the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Guys, one thing I need to tell you about this. It's a pretty dope and what a lot of folks are saying now, cute movie. I think it was more than cute, but I loved it. It was worth going to the theater to see, definitely in a premium screen. And when you think of premium screens, the one screen that we went to go see it on was the 40X screen. Now, that experience was pretty dope. Let me tell you something about it. Like, this is how it looks. You have the seats that move. They're fully operating, moving chairs. Feels exactly like if you're in a roller coaster without actually being on a roller coaster. So, key things about this experience. Like I said, the seats move. Let's say you're in a scene of the movie and the characters are flying. The seats move as if you're flying in the air. They give you that feeling that you're flying through the air with the help of fans to blow wind in your face to make you feel like you're actually in the air. Or if you drop down in some water and it'll splash you like a little small splash. It's not big, not like you want to get drenched, like you're on an actual water ride or anything like that. But it has a lot of things going on. Explosions happen. You get smoke in the theater. They do the little fog machine. Um, if you're in an area where it's flowers or there's something that has like a strong scent that's supposed to be portrayed in the movie, they would shoot that scent across the whole theater so you could smell it, just to make you feel like you're inside the movie. I'm telling you guys, I enjoyed that. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Now the one thing I would say about it is the price tag was pretty high. But I mean, that's up to you. If you feel like it's worth it, then spend the money. My thing I would say is not to spend it on every movie you see, because every movie is not worth it at all to see in 40X. But like I said, I enjoyed it and it was a pretty cool experience. That was my third time going to it. So we have one here, only one here in Atlanta, and that's in Atlantic Station. And it was pretty dope. I enjoyed it. But let's go ahead and get into the meat of the review. So first up, nope, that's the wrong one. First up is Mr. Chris Pratt himself as Mario. Yo, I was very, very scared about him being Mario and playing the voice of Mario. And I was like, yo, I hope he does something cool with the voice. I understand why a lot of people want it to be the original guy who played the voice, but I mean, come on now. Can you imagine being in the movie for an hour and a half and all the guys saying is, "It's me, I'm Mario." Hey, don't kill me about my voice. I already know how it is. Just go with it. I'm not getting the big bucks for it. But yeah, like just that high pitched, crazy sounding voice throughout the whole movie, and there's no real dialogue. Yeah, it would get real crazy and kind of weird and annoying at points. So I understand why they went with somebody like a Chris Pratt to do the voice. Now, when I went and we actually saw the movie and you actually get into it, I ain't gonna lie, first few seconds into it, I forgot. It sounded like him a little bit, but like it didn't take me out of the movie. Like it was dope. It was pretty good and it sounded good. I all I saw and heard was Mario. So like I really enjoyed that whole situation with Chris Pratt being Mario. And he played Mario pretty well. Yep. I really liked it. So the next person on this list that we want to talk about is Mr. Charlie Day as Luigi. Now, guys, it's so much you could really do with Luigi. If you know who Charlie Day is, you already know he could really play that character as Luigi, the scary but brave brother who tries to do things but is afraid to do some things or to go through things and to deal with things. And Charlie Day played that very well. He played it up. Now in this movie, because of what they did in the story itself, he didn't get much time to. You didn't get much time with him, I would say, and it was a plot that I think may have hurt the movie overall, but I still enjoyed it. It does look like they could set up a Luigi Mansion movie from this. There's no like, like post credit scenes or anything about it or anything like that. But I could see them doing a full movie with Charlie Day as Luigi in a Luigi Mansion style type movie. Now, if they're going to do it, I don't know. But as far as Charlie Day goes, he killed that voice too. Yeah, he killed. Next up, we have Anya Taylor-Joy. Now, she played a great Princess Peach. I enjoyed her. A lot of people would probably be upset because they think this is a whole girl power type of situation. Where if you're a fan of the games, you know for a fact that Princess Peach becomes her own savior later on in the games. You could play as her. You could see her evolve from just a girl who's just in the background that you have to save as Mario, and she try to escape and do her own things throughout the game. Even some games where they have her saving Mario in them. We'll talk about something similar to that later. But yeah, she did a great job. The voice was a little bit different than what I thought it would be, but it didn't take me out of the movie. So I really like that. I really like that. Um, let's see who is next. Now I think everybody likes this one right here. Everybody's gonna like the next one. So Jack Black as Bowser. I'm not gonna lie. When you first hear Bowser, you do not hear Jack Black. But there are a couple of things that happen in the movie. Let's just say Bowser gets a couple of musical numbers. They're not that big, they're not overwhelming. They are funny. But once he gets into those musical numbers, that's when you really hear Jack Black. Killed it. And what they did with Bowser is kind of like a underground thing with people who play the games wonder like why does he keep coming at the Peach in the games? And this movie gives more insight to that and how he actually feels about that whole scenario. Yo, my man killed it. Like I'm a fan. Tenacious D, that's my people. I've been a Jack Black fan from the beginning. Like, so he killed it. That was too hilarious. You're gonna love him. Look, the mission of this movie with just him being in it is worth the price. I'm just telling you now. He killed that. I was like, bro, what, Jack? You will love it. Trust me, you will love it. Let's go ahead and get next up. Okay. Let's get this one up here. Michael Keegan Key. I'm tripping. Keegan Michael Key. I'm a Michael Keegan. Keegan Michael Key as Toad. All right. I have just a little slight problem with how they had how Toad was in this movie. So Toad is technically kind of portrayed in like most of the games and most of like the animated stuff as kind of like Luigi, where he's kind of scary, but he's down for the adventure. He's scared of things, but he's down for the adventure. Where in this movie, Keegan played him as like, I'm down for whatever. Let's go. I ain't scared of nothing. Nothing can scare me. I told you I'm gonna watch your back. I got you. Like he was down for the cause. No questions asked. He didn't stutter. He didn't do anything. And that's kind of where I was like, Toad is usually not that person. So that kind of made me feel away. But he literally did kill that role. And Toad, where he had a lot to do, he didn't have a lot to do. And his role in the movie was pretty dope. Now his role in the movie, as far as like him just being there, is what they kind of recently started doing in the games, where he's like this narrator per se. Like he's the person who you use him to navigate through the world and all this stuff. They'll tell you what's going on and all that stuff like that. So they kind of used him in that way too as well. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: if you didn't know that this was Keegan, you couldn't tell, because he had a whole different voice and it was completely out of there. I was like, wow, okay. So we got next up. Next up, we got. Why is this thing? Sorry, guys. This is my first time using StreamYard. So yeah. Next up, we have Mr. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Mr. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Okay. It was Seth Rogen. It wasn't Donkey Kong. It was Seth Rogen. Straight up. Like, no ifs, ands, and buts about it. That's who that was. He didn't change his voice. He wasn't different. It was literally Seth Rogen. Now, they had him a little cocky, and he's full of himself. And in the earlier games, if you play those, that's kind of how he is. Not as goofy, but he does, he is portrayed as like, this is my city, this is my island, nobody could touch my things. And in this movie, they played him the same way. But like I said, with Seth Rogen, he didn't play. It was him. It literally was him. Even to the point to where when Donkey Kong was laughing, that was Seth Rogen laughing. Like, there's nothing against it. Now the question is, I'm hearing rumblings that they may do like the next the next Illumination Studios movie that's working with Nintendo may be a Donkey Kong movie. I didn't like him as the voice of Donkey Kong, but I enjoyed what we got. If you get what I mean. Like, I'm used to Donkey Kong being that character from the games where he sounds like a monkey. And I'm sorry to make it feel like that, but he sounds like a monkey, and he sounds like he understands what's going on. They really didn't have him have any dialogue for Donkey Kong originally. So it would have been nice to have like some semblance of him being a monkey, but with a voice, if you get what I mean. But I could see watching the whole movie about like based off of the first Donkey Kong movie, video games, Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, that would be a good movie. So I'm up for it. I'll go see it. I will go see it. Let's see who we got up next. We got. Okay, so honorable mention. Not really an honorable mention, but just to like kind of throw it in there. Charles Martinet. Okay, this guy. He's the original voice of Mario and all these other characters that's on the screen right now. I feel like they did a great nod to him voicing Mario in the movie, but the cameo they gave him, it was, when you see it, you'll realize like how important and wild it was, because he voiced a character that's, first of all, it's a character that you wouldn't expect to be in this movie in the way they put him in here. But he voices a character that gives life to this whole franchise in general. So when you see it, you'll be like, oh, okay, got you. I really think in certain points of the movie, when they had Mario do his like certain catchphrases, and even Luigi, that it was him voicing them instead of Charlie Day or Chris Pratt. I really think that they should have threw his voices in those particular parts, but I understand that they wanted to make they wanted it to be a Chris Pratt Mario, a Charlie Day Luigi. I get that. So, but that he was in the movie, so they didn't leave him out. So that's a good thing. But yeah, it was nice. I enjoyed his little cameos. It was like two of them in the whole movie. Yeah, it was like two cameos. He had two cameos. I think one in the beginning and one towards the end. Yeah, he did pretty good. All right, so next up we have, okay, this one. This one is kind of funny. I was kind of upset about this one too as well, but the character itself, the character that they played, it wasn't that important in the movie. But yeah, I would kind of wish they would, if they do make a movie, the next movie is a Donkey Kong movie. I really do wish that they get a different voice actor, or he changes the voice up a little bit better. And the person I'm talking about is Fred Armisen. He played Cranky Kong in the movie. Like I said, the role wasn't too big, but when he came on, he seemed more like the wisecracking chief who's not old, but he's supposed to be old and cranky. And they kind of try to throw a little crankiness in there, but it kind of got over it, and he was doing some other things, and he was not Cranky Kong in this movie. They did do some cameos now with Diddy, Dixie, and a little bit more of the Donkey Kong crew in this movie. So when you go to watch it, look out for him. But Fred, he did an okay job for voicing. I was just expecting like a more seasoned, older sounding voice. Something like a Gandalf type of grittier voice for Cranky, and for him to be like cranky, for him to be like, like how he is in the games. And so yeah, they could have went a different way with that, and I'm pretty sure they probably still would use him for the movie if they did a Donkey Kong movie. But I would just wish he would kind of change it a little bit, just a little bit, not much, just a little bit. Okay, let's see what's next. So we got. Why is that not working? Okay, sorry guys. So the next person we got up, who's on the cast, Kevin Michael Richardson, Kamek. Never knew his name. Always call him the Wizard Koopa, but he has a name, and I think I'm saying it right, Kamek. But Kevin, he did a great job voicing this guy. This guy was kind of slick, light comic relief in this movie. Like, he wasn't in it as much. Like, yeah, he wasn't in there as much as you wanted him to be, but the little bit that he did, like in the trailer, if you watch the trailer, how he comes out and he like introduces Koopa and everything with Bowser. Uh yeah, it's kind of along those lines that he helps Bowser do things. Like, it's crazy. They put him in different situations. If I'm not mistaken, Kevin is he's a famous a voice actor where he done like some shows like American Dad, Family Guy, and even the Cleveland Show. A couple other shows he's done that he voiced characters for. So he's pretty well known voice actor. I enjoyed the voice. It kind of sounded like how I would think he would sound from in the games too. So he did a pretty awesome job. But like I said, in this movie, really didn't have much to do because we were focused on those main characters that I said earlier. But yeah, he killed it. Now the next one, the next one, he did pretty good too. It sits in the same realm where he wasn't really in the movie as much, but for what they gave him, he played it pretty good. And that's Kyrie Payton. He played the Penguin King, which we seen in the trailer in the beginning too. Sad to say that was like that was the most screen time at one time that he had in the whole movie. They wasted him. If you don't know who Kyrie Payton is, he plays the voice of Cyborg in Teen Titans and in Teen Titans Go. He's the voice for that character. Also, if you're not into voices and who you don't know who the Teen Titans are, I could give you an even better scenario of who he is. Not scenario, but a better example of who he is. He's the guy who is the king in Walking Dead, King Ezekiel. He killed this character for what he could in this capacity, because like I said, it's a very small role. But things that happen in the movie with another character, that if you're watching the show, you would feel like, oh my God, what is this person doing? He's you. He sits in that realm as that character, as like if you're him, when it comes down to when you hear these things from this one character. Not gonna say too much about that, but he did, like I say, he did great for what he was given, and nothing else to it. That was what it was. Let's see. All right. Let's see, what did I have next? Okay, that's it. So the question is it good? I would say it's a little bit better than good for me. It's not the best movie. The script needed a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. But for an introduction movie into a Mario world, and just to get you into that world, it did what it needed to do. Is it better than the original live action movie? Loads and loads and loads of fun. Way better than the live action movie. I love the live action movie, but I understand why people hate it, or why Nintendo was like, we ain't making no more movies ever again. I'm glad they decided not to do that, and they decided to come back and do this animated movie with Illumination. It was great. I loved it. So, yeah, it was a pretty good movie. Go out and see it. I suggest a premium screen. It doesn't have to be the 40X. Just a big screen so you could sit back and enjoy. This movie is literally like a popcorn flick. It's just something to have fun. A lot of older folks who are not into the Mario world will probably not like it, but kids will love it. If you're fans of Mario, you would kill for it. Speaking of that, this thing has 2 post-credit scenes at the end, so stay and wait. One is something for laughs. The first one is for laughs. The second one, it sets up what could be possibly a sequel. And don't get upset because they kind of show something in the movie, during the movie, which kind of helps out with the end credit scene as well. Because I hear some people are pissed off about the fact that happened, and it happened in the movie beforehand too as well. So ignore all that. If you're fans, you will understand what I mean when you get there. Guys, make sure you're taking a chance to look through everything in this movie. There are Easter eggs galore, all around, everywhere. In almost every frame, there's something that's going back to either Mario or any other Nintendo properties, or just Nintendo in general. So have fun. This is a complete Easter egg movie. Like, you will enjoy it. You would see stuff that you wouldn't even think would have been in there. And so, yeah, like I said, 2 post-credit scenes at the end, and you have fun with it. I enjoyed the movie, and I hope you guys will enjoy it too. So, with all that being said, I want to thank you guys. Next up, we have Anya Taylor-Joy. Now, she played a great